All right. Good morning or afternoon, Lancers. Welcome to Natural Disasters. You are watching this because you are interested in the course, and thank you for that. My name is Mr. J, and I hope that this presentation can help firm up your decision that you would definitely want to take this course. Like I said, my name is Mr. J. That is my email address down there. So when this is over and you have it mulling around in your head for a little bit, but you happen to have questions, feel free to email me at any time, and I'd be happy to answer them. Here's your COVID disclaimer for this course. This material is being presented to you in the hopes that LHS in September 2021 will look more normal than the remote hybrid schedule and the headaches that we are currently living through. So fingers crossed, everybody, that there will be light at the end of the tunnel and we can resume in-person instruction. So what I'm presenting to you is natural disasters that looks in-person and somewhat normal. What can you expect from this course? It is a semester elective. There are labs that we will do, but there is no lab period. So therefore, you who are a junior right now and you're thinking of taking this as a senior and you'd love to have your lunch free from any kind of lab obligations, this is the course for you. And it's also an elective, meaning you actually want to be here. No one's forcing you to take this course. You're doing it either because your friends are taking it or you're really interested in natural disasters. The name of the course sells the course. You don't even need me. I do expect that you participate, though, because you're not going to get anything out of this course if you just sit around, play on your phones, and think that it's a study hall, because it's not a study hall. There are no tests in this course. We've even gotten rid of the final exam over the last couple years, but there are lots of projects, there are lots of assignments, there are lots of things that you have to earn credit for. There is no homework. I will never assign something for you to do at home. The only time you'll have to do anything from home is if we're in remote learning, or if you haven't completed what you should have completed by the end of the class. Then if you do want credit for it, you may have to do it at home. I have a 1 day late assignment policy. Then there's no credit after 1 day late. The only exceptions to that is in the mess of remote learning. In this particular school year, deadlines eventually don't really matter because we're all going through a mess of a headache. But should things return to normal, this 1 day late on assignments is going to be back up and running. The final project, in lieu of a final exam, is going to be a case study report. And I'm going to talk more about that in just a second. You're probably wondering, how am I going to be graded? Everything that we do in class is worth 90% of your course grade. That's lab activities, classwork, presentations, case studies, and projects. The final project constitutes 10% of your course grade. All assignments in that 90% pie slice have an individual component. So even though you might be working with a group of people and submitting one document, if you don't do anything during that group work and you let your group members share all the burden and you do nothing, you will not get the same grade as your group members. Here the units of study, the units of case study. We've shifted natural disasters to focus on specific events that have happened. And so we learn the science behind these events and how humans have dealt with this and how do we prepare for the future and lessons learned through the lens of one particular event. So we start off with the Camp Fire, which happened in California in November of 2018. Then the Joplin tornado of 2011. Then what I call Sandy Cat, which is Sandy and Katrina combined as one, looking at both hurricanes side by side. And that's the whole first half of the course, is meteorological disasters. The second half of the course deals with geological disasters or plate tectonics type disasters. So we look at Haiti, 2010, the massive earthquake that occurred there. We'll be looking at the Boxing Day tsunami of 2004 and the more recent eruptions of Kilauea on the Big Island of Hawaii in 2018 to end the course. And those 6 case studies, you can almost act like their own individual units. They're usually between 5 and 8 days of instructional days. In remote learning, it takes a lot longer to get through this stuff than it would in normal times. So this is just a screenshot of our Schoology group. Our Schoology course. This is what the Joplin case study would look like. We start off with a documentary, and we watch to see the destruction firsthand and the witness survival recounts. Then we look into thunderstorms, and then we look at the EF scale, and then we do an activity on preparedness and how do we prep for tornadoes, lessons learned. And then we end up watching Twister and using that Hollywood movie as a way to kind of look at what was actually factual and what was Hollywood, exaggerations. There are themes that emanate throughout all of the different case studies of this course. The first one is why. So that's usually the first thing that we tackle is why do these events happen in the first place? What's the earth science behind what's going on? Then when do they occur? Can these particular disasters and these events be predicted? If so, how early in advance? How accurately? And then finally, how? How does society cope with these catastrophes? And how do we prepare for the future, knowing the threat is always there? You are expected to understand connections between earth science. So we're going to study geology and seismology, volcanology, meteorology. Those branches of earth science are important because you don't really get them in earnest anywhere else in Livingston High School. So if you're interested in these things, or perhaps you're thinking of studying science in college and possibly one of the earth sciences, this is a great course to kind of wet your whistles, so to speak. There are also environmental science issues that permeate the course as well, and how humans influence natural disasters, both from one extreme of changing Earth's climate so that we have worse hurricanes and flooding and drought events, but also how we build and the types of structures we make, how does that impact it as well. We do have an opportunity in the earthquakes unit to look at design, look at structures, and do a fun engineering challenge for that. I like more doing than talking. So very rarely will you see me sit up, stand, and deliver a lecture for 45 or 50 minutes. That's not in my best interest, nor is it yours. I'm not about trivia. I'm more about big picture concepts and applying things that we've learned to real life situations. And it truly is about the journey, not the destination. Many of you sitting at home do care about your GPA, and that's great, and there's utility in that. But really, the fun is in the journey, not so much the destination of what your grade's going to be in the course or what you're going to send off to your colleges whenever you get to that point. The journey is fun. The journey can be hard, but it's what we have. It's the moment that we live in. There are opportunities where you will be talked at. This is otherwise known as a lecture portion of certain courses and this class. Writing stuff down does help you learn, so I don't want notes and the skill of taking notes to die. So I'm going to preserve this dying art. They are designed to be interactive, and they're certainly not a one-way street of me just lecturing on and on about this, that, or the other thing. The more you put into this class, the more you're going to get out of it. So I ask that you come just engaged and curious and open-minded and sit and truly just ask questions when they come. Easier said than done, I guess. The final case study is your final project. So aside from the 6 major case studies that we're going to be spending a ridiculous amount of time doing, you get to pick any disaster that has happened, at least any disaster that you can find enough relevant information with, research-wise. So the 7 events that are kind of off limits would be the Campfire, Joplin, Sandy, Katrina, Haiti, all of the ones that we spend a lot of time in class. But you're going to be creating your own case study report based on whatever you're interested in. So if you really love volcanoes erupting, then by all means, that's what your do-it-yourself case study should be. If you're really into tornadoes, then you can pick the Moore, Oklahoma tornado, or Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 2011. There's lots of options for you to do it. So it allows students to pick what they want, something they're interested in, something they're curious about, and to really take a deep dive in all of the different aspects related, not just the science, but the background and the socioeconomic impact and the recovery, and how engineering and science is helping to lead the way to help minimize damage, loss of life, loss of property. Highlights: there are tons of hands-on labs and demonstrations where students doing hands-on stuff doesn't really work. We do blow up a volcano, and that's one of the highlights of the course. We got Sketty Tower Shakedown. That is our design challenge about creating a structure that can withstand an earthquake. We do have a Restore the Shore Sandy debate, which is always lots of fun and very topical and pertinent to your life, being someone who lives in New Jersey and might vacation down at the shore. And we watched 2 films over the course of the course. One of them is Twister, and the other one is called The Impossible, about the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami. That is it. I look forward to you guys, contacting me and asking a bunch of questions about the course. I look forward to seeing you all in actual in-person learning, we hope, fingers crossed. If you have any questions about natural disasters or astronomy, because I teach that one too, they make really good sister courses, feel free to drop me an email, or if you're in for in-person instruction, my office is between S23 and S25. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you a wonderful day. Thanks.